Hi there, this is Jules from U-Turn TV. I would just like to talk to you today about giving positive feedback and, more importantly, getting positive feedback from your team. When I take on a management client to give them some training and improve their skills, one of the things that we talk about in the first session is about what your team thinks of you. And I will often say, imagine you're a fly on the wall and your team's having a conversation about you. What would they say? What would you imagine that they're saying? I usually get two responses. The first one is usually a list of expletives that I wouldn't dream of repeating on here, because they imagine the worst and that they think the team is not very supportive and doesn't like them very much. And the other response I normally get is, dunno, never really thought about it. Now, we all know that without good, constructive and positive feedback, it's borderline impossible to improve your performance over a period of time, because you just don't know whether you're doing the right thing. Now, it's okay, you're bound to get feedback from your sort of up the line manager, but very often, if you're not getting good feedback from your team, then there's a kind of unbalanced mismatch of how you think you're doing. And believe me, as a fully supportive team who are helping you achieve the goals that you need to achieve is worth 20 pay rises in a year, because it will get you everywhere you need to be. Now, one of the exercises that I went through that I like to share with you, and the purpose for doing this, is I actually went through a 360-degree feedback giving and taking session with a team that I used to work with when I was employed. And sometimes I will encourage managers, as their skills improve and their confidence improves, to go and do this with their teams. Now, I'll be honest, it's not for the faint-hearted. If your team is in a bit of a state, it's a bit of a mess and things aren't working as well as they might do, you're likely to get some fairly negative responses, and you've got to be fairly, tough and brave to be able to go through that to see where it is that you aren't doing so well. Now, this particular form, which I'm happy to share with you, asks questions in a very structured way, which saves it, kind of helps to avoid that kind of free flow of vitriol about about your management skills. And you'll be rated from 1 to 5, where 1 is top score and 5 is they think you're fairly rubbish at something. And the areas that there's sort of 3 questions per section, and the sections are in communication, leadership, approachability, people management, and coaching and mentoring. And there's 3 questions in there in each of those sections where they get to rate you, and an opportunity to add further comments. Now, when we did this exercise, it was done in an anonymous way. So I emailed the questionnaire out to my team, but asked them to type up their comments in the form and then print it out and put it somewhere where I wouldn't, drop it into a box or a filing tray, but do it when I'm not around, so that I don't know when you've dropped it in there. And that just meant that they felt comfortable to say what they needed to say, and it meant that I wasn't applying any kind of prejudice to when I carried out the review of the forms. Now, when I did it, I was really kind of expecting some fairly negative feedback. And that's quite a few years ago now, and I'm a lot more confident about my skills perhaps than I was then. And one of the things that came out of it, which kind of surprised me, was that they actually wanted more time with me. I think they felt that I was too busy, and that was brilliant, because it meant that I could then take that feedback from them to my director and say, my team are shouting that they need to see more of me and I need to spend more time with them. And that was a great sort of negotiation tool for having my workload looked at with a little bit more depth than had been done previously. So that was fantastic. And obviously, because I was able to spend more time with them and giving them a bit of coaching and whatever else, their performance improved, they became happier, and we all started, it all started a big kind of team, hugging every day. Slight exaggeration, but you know where I'm coming from. Now, like I said, it is for the brave, because it can be, you might have to face some somewhat difficult sort of comments. However, if you're open and honest enough with yourself, you know that in order to improve your performance, you need to understand what it is that you're doing wrong, that isn't that you're not doing for your team. If you'd like this questionnaire and you'd like the instructions and some sort of guidelines around how to use it, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy to talk you through it and see how you can use that in your organisation. If you'd like to get in touch with me via the website, at the comments below, or email me at Jules, that's Jules, at uturntv, which is the letter U, turntv.co.uk. I will email you over the guidelines and the form, and or maybe we can have a conversation about the best way of applying it and what to do. It's a fantastic tool. You can't improve without getting feedback, and it's free. It's absolutely free. So hopefully I shall hear from you. As ever, it's a joy to speak to you, and if the sun is shining where you are, then I am happy for you. I think it's shining where I am, but I haven't seen outside for a few hours yet. So hopefully you're well, and as ever, take the very best care of yourself, and hopefully I'll hear from you soon.